Hello. This is gonna be my third video for the YouTube channel. Some random thoughts is I think the name of it. This here is truly a random thought, and I was thinking about the idea of singularity, right? It's the I'm trying to think of like a simplified way to describe it, but it's basically this hypothesis of if or when artificial intelligence grows to the point that it surpasses human consciousness and then changes, it rapidly develops technology to the point that it changes society, right? I was thinking about the idea of singularity in that form, and then the idea of singularity as people as individual units, right? And my thought about it is how we as people tend to move in groupthink, right? So much so that most people who are alive in our modern world they're not really thinking with their thoughts. They're not thinking based on something that they thought of, something that they spent time and that came from within them. They're rehashing ideologies and what's the word? We'll just leave it at we'll just say ideologies. They're rehashing ideologies that come from their family, their friends, professors, mentors, TV, what have you. They're just rehashing these ideas. And so I was thinking about people stepping back and like stepping away from groups and like kind of disappearing, like truly becoming that singularity for themselves so that their own consciousness can expand and they can truly see who they are. This is something that I personally have gone through or put myself through multiple times, where I step back away from friend groups and just certain experiences in general. It almost felt like a depression. I think it was a depression, to be honest. But I needed it to happen so that way I could see what thoughts were truly mine. Like, what is it that Darian truly wants? What does Darian truly think about things? Like, am I conservative? Am I liberal? You know, am I going off what my family thinks about it? Or am I going off of like the time I spent researching, or the time I spent feeling out what actually aligns with me? You know, and it's not just liberal and conservative. It's not just that either. It's an assortment of things. You know, how do you feel about money? How do you feel about Western living? How do you feel about Eastern living? You know, what do you think about socialism? What do you think about capitalism? Like, you know, the list can go on forever. It doesn't matter what the subject is. It's what do I think about it? Am I thinking with something that's genuinely coming from me out of what is for my purpose? Or am I living and expressing myself through this like viral meme that has been passed on through tradition of family or culture or whatever? Am I living out me, or am I living out this thing that is just in my mind because of this tradition that has, you know, been repeated over and over and over and over and over again, you know? And the reason why I brought up the idea of AI singularity, I think I mentioned it briefly a second ago, is stepping back away from all these different expressions, and all these different ideologies that are like trying to fight for control in your mind, stepping back away from those allows for you as a person, or us as people, to individually, right, for our consciousness to reach its own singularity. In that way, we become truly what we are meant to be. And from what I'm seeing, it really doesn't happen until you hit your 30s. It can happen for anybody at any time, depending on their culture, their family culture, and how they're raised. But it didn't happen for me until I hit my 30s, where everything started to gel together. I'm only 31 now, but it didn't happen to me until this point. Once I got through all the chaos of my 20s, the ups and downs, women partying, blah, 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 20s, Western 20s. But that point of singularity for your consciousness is important. Stepping away, or if you can't step away, you have to remain. Taking time to actually examine the things that you do and the way you think. Is this what I think? Is this what I care about? Or is this something that I'm supposed to care about because XYZ thinks it's important, or they care about it? That there is extremely important, because once you then reach that singularity, then you reintroduce yourself into the collective as a solid, unique being, right? I feel like people who do that, or can do that, you have a lot more to offer in that way than being this like mental, like I don't know, this ideological slave puppet where you're just walking around following what everybody else thinks. Well, that's a random thought. If you enjoyed it, like it. If you didn't, dislike it. Thank you. Have a good day.